or I'm going to be ranking my top 10 wide receivers in the upcoming 2024 NFL draft. If you haven't already seen my top 10 quarterback rankings, make sure that you guys go ahead and check that out. I'm going to have a card popping up above, so you guys can go ahead, click on that video, and come back to this one. At number 10, I got Ricky Pearsall out of Florida, a.k.a. Pretty Ricky. This dude is heavily underrated by a lot of people in the NFL draft community or the NFL scouting community, man, because a lot of draft analysts nationally, like Daniel Jeremiah and a few others, have Ricky Pearsall in their top 50, but I don't really see too many people saying a lot about Ricky Pearsall when this dude is a smooth operator. He gets in and out of his breaks fairly easily, and not just that, but he runs very good routes. And people have concerns about how he's going to hold up against press coverage at the next level. Like, I think Ricky Pearsall in the NFL is a slot receiver. Now, when you look at his size, 6'1", 189 pounds, he definitely does have the ability to play on the outside, but I really think that he's more better suited for playing in the slot because I don't think he's as physical as what you need to be to really be a good, dominant outside receiver, but you can move him around on the offense. You can move him in the slot, move him outside. So as long as you are just moving him around, you know, that should be pretty good for him. He has great hands. Also, he made a crazy catch. I believe it was against LSU when he just snagged the ball with one hand out of the air, and he got hit stick too, by the way. So Ricky Pearsall is definitely one of the more underrated wide receivers in a really deep draft class. He, to me, is a day one impact kind of slot receiver. And if you're looking for somebody in your dynasty leagues who could end up having a surprising rookie season, coming out of nowhere, nobody really talks too much about him, Ricky Pearsall is definitely that guy. And I would be really surprised if he's not a day one starter this season. Keon Coleman comes in at number 9 for me. He's 6'3", 213 pounds. This dude can jump out the gym. It's like he plays football like he's a power forward. He knows just how to get good leverage on defensive backs. He knows how to box guys out. He does a really good of using his body to shoot away defenders. He's also really physical. He's a presence in the run game as well as a blocker. And he's one of those wide receivers that all you just got to do is just throw it up to him and wherever his proximity is, and he's going to go up and go get it. The big concern with Keon Coleman is that you don't know how well he's going to be able to get open and create separation in the NFL. And it could be one of those situations where every catch that Keon Coleman makes could be a circus catch because he always has to make those contested catches in 50-50 situations. But I'm not really concerned about the 40. I don't really care about the athleticism because what I see is a big body wide receiver that's a bully. He's a physical threat. And he's not one of those guys that's going to beat you with, you know, finesse and speed. That's not part of his game. This dude is a power, old school style wide receiver. He's big. He's going to chip in on the run game. He's going to find ways to come down with those 50-50 ball situations. He's also going to be a good red zone option for you. And he's really good after the catch too. Like Keon Coleman in the open field with when he's able to get a full head of steam and, you know, he's running guys over, mauling guys to the ground. He kind of becomes like a running back with the ball in his hands in a sense. So I really like Keon Coleman. I was a lot higher on him before this process started than I am now, but I still believe that he can become a pretty solid receiver in the National Football League. Xavier Legette, I have him at number 8 on my top 10 wide receivers. Xavier Legette, when you look at this dude, he's built like a fucking bowling ball, bro. He's 6'1", 220 pounds, and he's just built. Like, if you look at this dude is chiseled. He has muscles on top of muscles, and he reminds me a lot of Deebo Samuels in a sense, just in terms of how he's built. Now, his playing style is a lot different from Deebo Samuels. Xavier Legette is a little bit similar to Keon Coleman, but way more athletic and way faster. You know, he can go up and get those 50-50 balls. He's also a good red zone threat. but he ran a 4.39 at the NFL Combine. That is super impressive for a guy of this build to be able to move this fast and this quickly. And the way he's able to just change gears once he gets the ball after the catch is downright scary. And not only is he good after the catch, but he's a very good deep threat. He's not just one of those guys who is just a one-trick pony and he's just a 50-50 contested catch guy. He's a guy who could just flat out run and burn you downfield. Straight up. I think Xavier Legette, is going to be a really good pickup for whichever team ends up picking him. I expect him to be a round 2 pick, day 2 of the draft, and he's my eighth best wide receiver in this draft class. Ladd McConkey, I have him at number 7. I don't think a lot of people are talking about Ladd McConkey. I get it that, he didn't really light the world on fire from a statistical standpoint at Georgia. But if you watch his film and you look out his route running, he may be arguably the best route runner in this class. I mean, this dude is smooth. The way he just moves in and out of breaks, it's like this dude is like a damn pinball machine, man. He just going here and there and here and there and here and there. And then it was really hard for cornerbacks to keep up with Ladd McConkey. Now, obviously, this dude is a pure slot receiver. I don't really think that he brings much value to you as an outside receiver. Same thing with Ricky Pearsall. The physicality aspect of his game is lacking. And I don't really think he's all that great when it comes to making contested catches. And then you got the durability concerns because he has struggled to stay healthy his last few seasons at Georgia. But when he's on the field, man, you see an incredible route runner. You also see somebody that creates great separation, and he's slippery after the catch. He's one of those guys that you think you have him wrapped up, and he ends up just finding a way to slip out of it. You would think that the dude has some damn baby oil on. So Ladd McConkey is my 7th ranked wide receiver in this class. Number 6, I got Javon Baker. A lot of you guys are probably like, who the hell is Javon Baker? Well, if you're saying who is Javon Baker, do yourself a favor and go watch some Javon Baker highlights, film, whatever you got to do, because there's no way you should watch Javon Baker play and not come away amazed. This dude, to me, is going to be the biggest stud in this wide receiver class because literally nobody is talking about him. I've only seen like 1 or 2 people. It was one dude who does the little podcast on CBS with the first pick with Rick Spielman. I really like their content. He had Javon Baker as like his 4th best wide receiver. When they posted the graphic of the rankings, there were people saying, who the hell is Javon Baker? And I was saying, bro, like, y'all people need to stop asking who and go to Google and type in some of these fools' names and watch the tape, bro. Like, Javon Baker, oh my goodness. You talk about a wide receiver that is a jack of all trades. He can catch those contested passes downfield. He has phenomenal body control. He also is able to impact the passing game, not just vertically, but in the intermediate and short areas off the field. He also has a good enough ability after the catch that he can make a few guys miss. Javon Baker started his collegiate career at Alabama, didn't really get a lot of opportunities there, goes to UCF, and this dude, every time you watch a UCF game, he always pops off the screen. And every time I was watching UCF play, I was like, bro, like, this Javon Baker dude, I got to keep my eyes on him. And I don't know how a lot of people are talking about this guy a lot more. This dude is everything that you're looking for in the number 1 wide receiver. Good size, athleticism, great after the catch, really fluid route runner. Now, he's not as good as a route runner as what Ladd McConkey is, but he's a solid route runner. Listen, I damn near gave Javon Baker a 1st-round grade when I was watching this dude's film. Like, please do yourself a favor and watch Javon Baker so you guys can truly understand where I'm coming from. Because if you're asking who, just watch the tape. That's all I got to say with Javon Baker. This is my favorite or 2nd favorite wide receiver in this class behind MHJ and Malik Nabers and Brian Thomas. I love Javon Baker, man. This dude is going to be one of... Does it piss you off how much you pay for your monthly phone bill? Why are you getting frustrated when our partner Mint Mobile has plans as low as $15 a month that give you unlimited talk and text on the nation's largest 5G network? Stop getting frustrated with how much you spend on your monthly phone bill and go to trymintmobile.com/JTSports in description and pinned comment down below to get access to premium wireless for only $15 a month. That's only $15 a month. Switching to Mint is easy. It only takes 15 minutes to do. If you're pissed off with how much you pay for your monthly phone bill, switch to Mint Mobile today and go to trymintmobile.com/JTSports in the description and pin comment down below to get premium wireless for only $15 a month. Stop getting upset with how much you spend on your monthly phone bill and switch to Mint Mobile today. The biggest deals of this draft class. At number 5, I got A.D. Mitchell. Now, A.D. Mitchell, this may be a little bit of a hot take, but I feel like his Georgia film was a lot better than his Texas film. Now, he had a really good season at Texas. You know, he lit Alabama on fire. All right, their secondary, Terrion Arnold, Kool-Aid McKinstry, whoever was sticking on A.D. Mitchell, they didn't know how to stop this dude, man. He was a man amongst boys. He ran really well at the combine. He's really shifty after the catch. You know, he's not one of those guys that's going to run over you, but he's one of those guys that he has kind of like that joystick-like ability. It's like he puts his foot in this dirt and he can make one guy miss, put his other foot in the dirt, make another guy miss. He has really good change of direction. He also is really consistent at beating press coverage. I don't really see that giving him too many issues in the NFL. And he pretty much catches everything. And he's been getting a lot of comparisons to George Pickens, and I understand why. But if you watch his Georgia film, he looked more like George Pickens when he was playing for Georgia than what he did with Texas. At Texas, he just looked like a more refined, the more calm and polished wideout. At Georgia, it just looked like he was a dog off the leash. You just threw the shit up to him and he was going to catch it. The dude just was a menace at Georgia. But he wasn't as refined, but it seemed like he was just a lot more explosive. You know, the A.D. Mitchell film from Georgia to Texas, y'all probably may not see it, but I just feel like he looked a lot more explosive at Georgia, but at Texas, he looked way more refined. But A.D. Mitchell, he, to me, is going to be a first-round pick. If I'm the Buffalo Bills and I end up moving on from Stephon Diggs, I definitely want to make sure that I put myself in position to make sure that I can walk away with A.D. Mitchell at the end of the first round. And even if you're the Kansas City Chiefs, you definitely should be having your eyes on A.D. Mitchell because he would be a great fit in Andy Reid's offense. So he's my 5th best wide receiver. At number 4, I got Brian Thomas Jr. Oh my goodness. You talk about a physical specimen? Bro, this dude is 6'3", 209 pounds. And I see why Jaden Daniels had the kind of year that he did last year because you're throwing to Malik Nabers and you're throwing to this damn demigod on the football field. And what scares me the most about Brian Thomas is that how well he moves to be this damn size. Normally, when you see a wide receiver that's 6'3", 209, you don't expect them to have a little bit of wiggle in their game, but that's what Brian Thomas has. He has a lot of wiggle. He's really sudden. He's really agile too. Good change of direction. He is an elite deep threat. I mean, with his wingspan and his length, you just throw that thing up to him. There's no way he's not going to come down with it. I don't see how this guy doesn't succeed at the next level. If Brian Thomas ends up being a bust, then I think that I might have to retire from evaluating wide receivers, bro, because he gets off the line really easily. Like, I don't see press coverage give this dude any issues at all. You know, he's really physical. He may not do a lot after the catch, but he does have enough speed. And, you know, with how big he is, he's going to be one of those guys that just is stiff-arming guys to the ground, just tossing guys to the side like they're rag dolls. I can't wait to see Brian Thomas Jr. in the NFL this season, man, because I had a lot of fun watching his film. If I had to rank my top 3 wide receivers who had some of the funnest, most entertaining film to watch, Brian Thomas is definitely up there. His performance against Arkansas was absolutely jaw-dropping, man, because it's like Arkansas didn't know how the hell to slow this dude down. It's like they damn near tried to put the whole secondary on him, and they still couldn't stop him, man. 6'3", 209 pounds, running 4.33. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? He damn near ran 4.29 at 6'3", 209. Like, this dude is a specimen. Like, an absolute specimen, man. Like, he's going in the top 15. I don't see how the Saints let Brian Thomas fall past them when you look at the big hole that they have at receiver with allowing Michael Thomas to hit free agency, getting rid of him pretty much. So if you're the New Orleans Saints and Brian Thomas Jr. is on the board when it's your turn to pick, man, I think you'll be making a huge mistake not taking him. This dude is a specimen, and he's something special. Like, you don't really see guys with this size have this kind of athleticism that can move this well and have so much fluidity with their movement. Like, normally you just see guys that are just fast linearly with this size, but Brian Thomas Jr., he just has so much suddenness in his game that I really believe he's going to be what people thought Quentin Johnston would have been. Like, he's going to be fun to watch. Rome Odunze comes in at number 3 for me. And I know everybody talks about how the top 3 receivers are 1A, 1B, 1C. I don't see it that way. I think it's pretty cut and dry who the number 1, number 2, and 3 receivers are. It's just that the gap between the 3 is pretty small. But Rome Odunze, you talk about a smooth operator. You know that song that goes, "Smooth Operator"? That should be Rome Odunze's theme song, bro, because everything he does just looks so smooth, like from his route running, from how he just is able to consistently win these contested balls with ease. It's like he doesn't look super explosive when you watch him play. I guess that's because of how lengthy he is. But I don't know. It's just when you watch this dude, he just looks so fluid. He's like a diet Mike Evans to me. You know, he's really good when it comes to keeping drives alive. If you're looking for a good, reliable third down target for a young quarterback, Rome Odunze definitely would be a good pick. You know, and I don't think you could go wrong with taking him being the first wide receiver off the board if you're like the Arizona Cardinals or the New York Giants, because there are definitely a lot of traits in his game that you definitely can see him being the best wide receiver in this class, or make the argument for him being the best receiver in this class, man. Like, he makes routine catches and jump ball situations look easy. He's going to be a good red zone threat. He's 6'3", 212 pounds, but with the way he just moves so peacefully, so gracefully, it's like he's like a damn ballerina in a sense. He has great balance. The only knock that I have on Rome Odunze and why I have him below my next top 2 receivers is because he's not as good after the catch as the other guys I have ahead of him. You know, I don't really think that he's that much of a yak threat. He could get a little bit of yardage for you after the catch, but I think he's more so of a big play wide receiver. You just throw it up to him downfield, and he just goes and gets it. Number 2, I got Malik Nabers. I know I was talking about how Brian Thomas Jr. was a specimen, but this dude Malik Nabers says, hold my dang beer. This dude is a freak of nature, bruh. 6 foot, 200 pounds. He doesn't look like he's 6 foot, 200 pounds, bruh. This dude looks like he's like 6'2", 230 pounds, built like a damn running back. And I know I had a lot of fun watching Brian Thomas Jr. film, but I ain't gonna hold you. Like, I'm gonna have to take back what I said about Brian Thomas Jr. having the most entertaining film, because you watch Malik Nabers play, bro, this dude just plays like a bat out of hell. Like, this dude is just exploding off the line. You get this dude into the open field. Oh my goodness. I would not want to tackle this dude if I'm a defensive back. And there were a lot of defensive backs that made a lot of business decisions when they saw Malik Nabers coming at them in the open field. And can you blame them? Like, oh my goodness, this dude is like Derrick Henry at fucking wide receiver, dog. Like, he's not as refined as Rome Odunze or even MHJ. But I mean, he's not too far off. Like, I do think that he is a really good route runner. He has really quick feet. But you just think about how much of a yak monster he's going to be at the next level. You know, my comparison to him is like, he's a mix of DJ Moore and I really think he has a lot of similarities to DJ Moore, but just way more explosive, man. It's like, you get this dude a 5-yard slant, he could take it to the house because he has enough speed to outrun you. He also has enough elusiveness that he could put a couple of moves on you, or he could just run your ass over. Like, I love Malik Nabers' game, and I was so close to putting him over Marvin Harrison Jr. I really was, but I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. It's like, I get it that these top 3 receivers, the separation between them is so small because they're just so great, but Marvin Harrison Jr. is just one of one. You're looking at a complete wide receiver prospect. He clocked in at like 23 miles per hour at one point during this season. He is fantastic when it comes to just making deep catches downfield. He makes the impossible catches look possible with ease. Not just that, but he also is really good if you want to get him the ball in the quick game. I mean, his go-to route that he always seems to get open on is slant routes. Like, everybody complains about Michael Thomas and how he was eating off all those slant routes when he had that big season a few years back. Marvin Harrison Jr., I mean, I don't see that being any different from him in the NFL, bro. Slant routes to Marvin Harrison Jr. are pretty much the closest thing that you can find to automatic out of any wide receiver in this class that's running slants, bro. It's just Marvin Harrison, he runs a slant, he's getting open, and he's at least going to pick up 8-6 yards, bro. And then you look at his size. He's 6'3", 209 pounds, but he's not as built as what Malik Nabers is. You know, he's a little bit more, I don't want to call him scrawny, because he's not scrawny, like, he is built. But if you just look at Marvin Harrison's body type compared to Malik Nabers, like, Malik Nabers is just built like a fucking specimen. It looks like the dude that's in the weight room every damn day. With Marvin Harrison, he looks lean, but he doesn't look built. But he still has great size, and you know, he's a monster after the catch, too, of just how fast he is, how good his footwork is. Now, he's not as explosive as Malik Nabers, and that definitely is really obvious. Like, when you watch Malik Nabers' film versus Marvin Harrison's film, like, Marvin Harrison is more somebody that's going to come at you, like, I don't want to say he comes at you soft, but he just comes at you smoothly. You feel me? He's going to beat you with technique. Malik Nabers is going to beat you with just outright power and athleticism. Like, you're not faster than me. You're not going to be able to keep up with me. And I dare you to try to tackle me in the open field. So the gap between Malik Nabers and Marvin Harrison, I was surprised when I got done watching film on all these receiver prospects and seeing how small the gap really is between Marvin Harrison Jr. and the rest of the others, especially him and Malik Nabers, bro, because I do think that Malik Nabers' twitchiness and athleticism does make him a little bit of a rarity, because you don't see guys built like Malik Nabers every day. This dude is pretty much a damn running back at receiver, but has good route running, good footwork. I would love to see him be a little bit better against press coverage. But outside of that, man, I love Malik Nabers, and I love Marvin Harrison Jr. too. He was the best receiver in college football. You could make the argument that he was the best player in college football, man, because he was carrying Ohio State's offense. I know y'all saw the quarterback they had last year. What his name was? Honda McCord? Like, you had Honda McCord back there at quarterback, man. Like, of course you weren't going to win no damn championship with that. Marvin Harrison, you take him off last year's Ohio State team, and not only do they suffer a loss to Michigan, but they probably lose to Notre Dame also. Like, Marvin Harrison Jr. is the complete package at wide receiver. But if you have Malik Nabers or Odunze over him, I understand. I can understand Malik Nabers. I can understand Odunze slightly. But, you know, these are my top 10 wide receivers in the 2024 NFL Draft. Give me your feedback, your thoughts in the comment section down below. I know I'm going to get a lot of pushback for having Javon Baker at 6, but I think a lot of people are sleeping on Javon Baker, man. Do yourself a favor and go watch some Javon Baker film if you haven't already.